prohibit starvation of civilians, because they say when two elephants is fighting, the grass seems to be the one to suffer it. And as we speak today, the cost of rice continues to rise in Nigeria, and as much of the wheat that is needed in Nigeria and other developing countries seems to be a big problem, taking it out from Ukraine due to the current conflict that is going on as we speak right now. So Niger crisis in search of resolution, as we say, Tinubu dispatched 3-man team to Neymar. Now let's go straight to the social media and see part of what is being discussed this morning. Once again, it is a very good morning and welcome to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. It seems that Elon Musk continues to have a great time as more Nigerians are asking, what is the meaning of the X sign as against the bird? Because we know the bird in Africa, we put it as witchcraft, but some are also saying maybe the X sign might got to do with cultism or something. I was actually reading a comment on Twitter, and the person said, you better be careful if the Nigerian police stop you, because the X sign also has a meaning to some of the cultism happening in Nigeria, which some of the Nigerians knows what I'm talking about. So the question is if you're stopped by the Nigerian security and they find an X on your phone, you might be thinking maybe you have a lot to explain, that this is Elon Musk. It's got nothing to do with me involved in cultism. Many Nigerians knows what I'm talking about when it comes to that X sign. So that is part of that. Woodolai _ Yorubanimi, Africa must rise up against this colonial master is coming as well. David Odoye seems to be trending, maybe for the good or the negative, but this morning I've seen ECOWAS with the fire brigade and the Niger vehicle. It seems that there's a smoke. Let's see if we can get these, beautiful that has been put together by whoever was behind these. Again, as many Nigerians are becoming very, as you can see there, ECOWAS with the fire brigade and Niger vehicle is about to smoke out as well. So, so far so good. It seems considering Atiku because of Peter Obi is exactly the same as voting for Buhari because of Osibajo. Let us stop handing the most powerful office in our nation to those who don't deserve it. Let's start to consciously safeguard our future. Let Atiku back Obi for president. This is coming from Dr. Bosun Tijani at Bosun Tijani, and it seems David Odoye says how time flies. So maybe these are people, okay, this was in 2018. Maybe this individual has changed his position to Tinubu, and maybe that is why that is trending. Again, the video of Tinubu being attacked on the poster seems to be already trending on the social media. The people of Niger Republic raining curses on Tinubu, calling him Ebola disease, the illegitimate president of Nigeria. We see if we can get that image up before we go as well. But one more as well, the chief of staff is trending, Buhari is trending at 24,000, and as I say, many Nigerians are still asking, in 72 hours, are we going to see a full-blown attack inside the ECOWAS attacking Niger? All these are still being looked into, but nobody knows what is going to happen as well. I'm going to come back now to you in the studio. It is Starr Radio UK, and according to Adiola at Ogbeni Demola, black lives will only matter when black lives matter to black people.
Of course. So true. But the breaking news that is coming from Niger, saying Niger Republic has halted relations with Nigeria as peace talks fails. Now he says the military junta in Niger Republic has cut off ties with Nigeria after the efforts of Economic Community of West African states to resolve their ongoing impasse failed. Now ECOWAS has issued a 7-day ultimatum for the reinstatement of President Mahmoud Bazoum to avoid possible clash with the junta. Information coming through says that, well, Bola Tinubu sent a high-powered delegation to the country to meet with the coup leaders on Thursday. The delegation, led by General Abdusalami Abubakar, retired, only met with the representatives of the junta. Subsequently, Niger severed ties with Nigeria, Togo, France, its colonizer, and the United States. Well, so that is some updates coming from there. Listeners, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London with Mr. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. Okay, now let's move on to some of the other stories that you have, or those on the social media, sir.
Well, the social media, like I said, is more of Nigerians asking whether, the ECOWAS will attack. But also, more Nigerians are asking, we now know that Ganjude is now the chairman of the APC. And the video where he was touching dollar into his Babariga continued to resurface back. According to Momo at Maurice_Moye, this is the new APC chairman, caught on camera, yet some poverty-stricken people will still come to defend him in comment. Poor man defending rich politician is a mystery. And also, let's look at some of the other discussion going on the social media. As we say, there's more people, continue to monitor that video. We see if we can get that video up before we go to this morning. And the last one is 2023 election most credible in Nigerian history, according to Bola Tinubu. Starr Radio UK, I'll come back now to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Okay, listeners, let's say thank you very much to Mr. Olayomi Koiki for that wonderful updates from Nigeria. But how many days more to see whether ECOWAS is going to attack or not? And we'll all be here to be watching very, very closely. Is it something that they're trying to get the West involved? Well, the president of Nigeria says that, well, if the US and the other Western world countries don't come to their aid, they should know that Russia is going to take over with the Wagner forces there. So I'm asking the question, what exactly is happening? What exactly is happening? Is he looking at the interest of his people or looking at the interest of the Western world? Okay, Yami, before you go.
Well, this weekend will be the launch of the Yoruba Nation radio coming on the shortwave at exactly 8 p.m. local time in Nigeria, and that would be going on the shortwave 17735. And as many of the Yoruba people are asked to tune in if you have a shortwave radio. Also, you'll be able to listen to that online, but the shortwave radio goes live on air at 8 p.m. tomorrow, when the first transmission will come through. Then after that, every Saturday and Sunday, every 1 hour each from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., you'll be able to listen to the shortwave radio all the way around the world, not just in Nigeria, since it's a shortwave transmission. That is the update from the Yoruba Nation, and I'll be back again on Monday. But wait till weekend when the Starr Radio UK will give you as many of what is happening from around the world, but mostly on Sunday, when we have our very beautiful programs that comes on air. I'll be coming back again Monday at exactly 11 o'clock. I will leave you in the good hand of Archie for the rest of the program. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and thank you so much for those of you that have joined us around the world.
Okay, bye-bye for now. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. My apologies for the flicking of the YouTube channel. I don't know what was causing it, but now let's take some music break, and once we come back, we'll be looking at the other stories making the rounds across the globe. Trump or no Trump, can he rule from the prison just in case? Or he's been indicted? Can he run for presidency? Who supporters supporting your president is a criminal? What about that? Okay, a lot more going to be coming away from here, so stay tuned. Enjoy this tune. This is from Stephen Marley. It says the Babylon system doesn't do what is working on the African continent, and I'll be with you. Stay tuned.
Yeah, well, Ian, and welcome to the 75th celebration, the King. See, Bob Marley. Love.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Us to be. no equal opportunity. Talking about my freedom, talking about my freedom, people freedom and liberty. Yeah, yeah, we've been treading on a wine press much too long. Rebel, rebel. We've been taking for granted much too long. Rebel, rebel. Babylon system is the vampire. Yeah. Sucking the children day by day. Yeah. Me said it. The Babylon system, yes, the vampire, falling empire, sucking the blood of the sufferers. Yeah. Building church and universities. Oh yeah.
This is Starr Radio, UK.
Continually. Yeah. Me said them graduating thieves and murderers. Look out now. Them sucking the blood of the sufferers. Yeah. Tell the children the truth. Tell the children the truth. Tell the children the truth. Come on. Tell the children the truth. 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 Come on and tell the children the truth. Tell the children the truth. Cause they now treading on a wine press much too long. Rebel, rebel. We've been taking for granted much too long. Rebel, rebel. Oh now, treading on a wine press. That's the rebellion.
Your favorite Afro-Caribbean radio station in the UK.
For granted much too long. Rebel, rebel. From the very day we taken from the shores of our father's land, we trampled on. Oh now, taken for granted much too long. Rebel, rebel. From the very day we taken from the shores of our father's land, we trampled on. Oh now, taken.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We apologize for the long break. Yes. We're trying to sort a couple of things out for you. But those of you listening to us, if you are on the YouTube channel, is up. Those of you on the Facebook, on other platforms as well, I want to salute each and every one of you, and thank you very much for joining in on the program. Okay, so in other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, as I did bring that breaking news pertaining to Niger, that's what is happening there. But when it comes to other African countries, Nelson Chamisa, President Mnangagwa, wants to cling to power. And Nelson Chamisa is opposition leader of one of the parties in Zimbabwe. Now, Zimbabwe's main opposition leader accused President Emerson Mnangagwa of violating the law and tearing apart independent institutions to cling on to power. Well, some other stories. Sierra Leone bill calls for dialogue after divisive polls. And then in Niger, Paris very strongly condemns the suspension of the France 24 and RFI radio station. So virtually Niger is trying to distance itself from their former colonial masters. But let's touch this one first. Zimbabwe's main opposition leader accused President Emerson Mnangagwa of violating the law and tearing apart independent institutions to cling to power. In an interview with Associated Press, Nelson Chamisa also warned that any evidence of tampering by Mnangagwa's ruling party in its month's election in this month's election could lead to total disaster for a beleaguered nation that is in economic ruin and already under United States and European Union sanctions for its human rights record. Now, Chamisa, who will challenge Mnangagwa and the ruling ZANU-PF party 43 years old on power in an August 23 vote, claimed widespread intimidation against his opposition party ahead of the elections. Chamisa said Mnangagwa has utilized institutions like the police and the courts to crack down on critical figures, ban opposition rallies, and prevent candidates from standing. He laid out a series of concerns that indicate the country, with its history of violent and disputed elections, could be heading for another one. In rural areas far from the international spotlight, many of Zimbabwe's 15 million people are making their political choices under the threat of violence, Chamisa said, driven to ruling party rallies and forced to support Mnangagwa and the Zimbabwe African National Union Patriotic Front if they want to stay safe or even alive. So a threat there. Now, Chamisa called it a choice of death or ZANU-PF for some. Now, Mnangagwa is clearly triggering a national crisis. Chamisa, the leader of the Citizens Coalition for Change party, said in an interview there with some of the press yesterday. He is driving the country into chaos. He's actually instigating instability. He is violating the law. He is tearing apart institutions of the country. Mnangagwa has repeatedly denied allegations of intimidation and violence by authorities or his party, and has publicly called on his supporters to act peacefully during the campaign. But Chamisa's portrayal of a highly repressive political landscape in the Southern African nation, where the removal of autocrat Robert Mugabe in 2017 appeared to have been a false dawn, is backed by reports released by Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch ahead of the presidential, parliamentary and local government votes in 3 weeks. They will take place amid 5 years of brutal crackdown in human rights, Amnesty said, since Mnangagwa gained power from Mugabe in a coup and then won a disputed presidential election by a razor-thin margin against Chamisa in 2018. In its assessment, Human Rights Watch said Zimbabwean authorities have weaponized the criminal justice system against the ruling party's opponents, and the build-up to the vote has not met free and fair international standards. Well, they will call it that way, but when it comes to other parts of the world, they don't want to call it that way as well. So you ask yourself the question, what are they in there for? Now, again, why is the West still keeping their sanctions on Zimbabwe? Now, I thought earlier on they were doing that because we had Robert Mugabe who said, well, I will not allow you guys to do so and so and so. You guys, so we're taking the farms from the whites and giving it to the indigenous people. And because of that, now they decided, no, we're all going to be clamping down on you. Well, they stood their grounds, and up to now, they are still surviving. How, where, whatever they are doing, some way, somehow, they are still surviving. But the question is, how far will they go? Now, we know that Mnangagwa was in Russia sometime last week. Was it last week to this week? Yeah. And Russia even has given them a helicopter. I think a presidential helicopter. One for them. So, how do you see it all panning out? What is it going to be like? Is it going to now say, okay, now let's have a normal, free, fair election, and let me lose the election, and then Chamisa take over, and then what? Now there seem to be the lines drawn, but how the game is all going to be panning out is something that we'll be watching very, very closely. Is Starr ready? You okay? Now moving on straight to some other stories. Sierra Leone's bill calls for dialogue after divisive polls. The story says Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada bill has called for unity and dialogue to overcome deep divisions over the June 24 disputed elections at official opening of new National Assembly boycotted by the government. In this parliament, where no party has reached a 2/3 majority, the need for dialogue and negotiation resounds with the utmost urgency. We must find common ground across political divides, said the president, re-elected at the end of June in the first round for a second term. The opposition All Progressive Congress Party decided on its non-participation at any level of the governance, including the legislature, the local council, judging the results of the presidential, legislative, and local elections rigged for the benefit of President Bill and his party. Only one of the 54 opposition deputies was in the hemicycle on Thursday morning. Well, so what do you think is going to happen there? Well. Starr ready, UK? Bill is back. Bill. All right then. Okay. Those of you who understand chi means that he's back again. All right then. Okay, it's a bit of chi there. All right. Now let's move on to Senegal. Now, Senegal said that it's going to send its troops to join the ECOWAS intervention forces in Niger, if need be. Now, Senegal on Thursday said that it will participate if the Economic Community of West African States decides to intervene militarily following last week's coup. Now, Foreign Minister Azizata Talsa told reporters during the government press briefing in the capital Dakar that there had been one coup too many in the region and cited Senegal's international community's commitments. My apologies. Now, Senegalese soldiers, for all these reasons, will go there, she said. The regional bloc ECOWAS has threatened potential use of force if the junta does not restore ousted President Mohamed Bazoum by Sunday. Niger is the fourth member of the bloc to undergo a push since 2020. The military chief of ECOWAS member countries met in Niger on Wednesday for 3 days of consultation. Now, Talsa said Senegal was obligated to go along with ECOWAS decisions. Now, but she added Senegal's conviction is that this coup must be stopped. That is why we are going there. Now, why don't they talk about what causes those coups to take place to stop? Because those who are in power are the ones who are controlling everything. And you decide not to listen to your people, and some people decide to listen to them and crack the whip. And along the line, we suffer the loss of democracy. But if the people are going to be better off, what is there to spoil? Well. What do you think about that? So they will all, I bet you, will move their forces in so that it will be an example or a template so that if any other country decides, this military decides to embark on a strike or on a coup d'etat, then they can move in to say, yeah, we did it for Niger and therefore we are going to be doing it for these ones as well. But what do you think about all that? Interesting times ahead on the African continent. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One other story from Africa, then move on to other parts of the world. The opposition National Democratic Congress has taken on the government over its claim that it has stabilized the economy. The party says President Akufo-Addo is failing to admit that his administration's fiscal irresponsibility is the reason why the economy is in shambles. The NDC asserts that the government cannot make the claim of stabilizing the economy without acknowledging that its fiscal irresponsibility is the cause of the economic mess. Now, speaking this morning, the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kwete, called out the Finance Minister, Kenneth Fariata, stating that it is another attempt to whitewash the government's mismanagement of the economy. The kind of collapse we have seen in terms of economy is one that requires a certain... Okay, let's bear with me. The kind of collapse we have seen in terms of the economy is one that requires a certain amount of humility. The rush quickly and want to start beating your chest and applauding. It indicates that somehow they have not learned as quickly as they should, he said. He said, by no means can you call this turning the corner in the first place. You can't even call it turning the corner. A situation where inflation has gone up to over 50%, and now they are trying to bring inflation down to some 30 or little below 30. You call it turning the corner. Mr. Kwete further noted that the government is desperate to look good and as such claiming to have stabilized the economy. He added, the very fact that they still continue to let the country believe that the real reason why we are where we are is because of the Russia-Ukraine war and COVID-19 tells me that this is a group that simply has not accepted responsibility. Although he accepts that there were external economic shocks during the period, he believes these or those obstacles have been faced by other countries, but no country in the West Africa or Africa has gone through what we've gone through. Mr. Kwete added that the government not accepting responsibility shows that they have no genuine remorse. There is not even an acceptance of the real acts of irresponsibility, physical irresponsibility, and moral leadership irresponsibility that have brought us here. So to jump quickly and start celebrating worries me, because it's like you haven't really learned, and therefore if you are given an opportunity, you quickly run it down again. Do you agree with them or not? Do you think the MPP are doing very, very well and the NDC is just there critiquing or criticizing them? What do you think about all that? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Alright then, now let's move on to other parts of the world to look at some of the other stories making the rounds there. Well. Now Ukraine Sea drone hits Russia ship in Black Sea. I bet you there's going to be a repercussion. A Russian naval ship has been damaged in the Ukrainian naval drone attack in the Black Sea, Ukrainian sources say. The assault reportedly occurred near the Russian port of Novorossiysk, which is a major hub for Russian exports. The Russia Defense Ministry said it had replied to the Ukrainian attack on its naval base there, which involved 2 sea drones and did not admit any damage. But Ukrainian security services sources say the Olegorsky Goniak was hit and suffered a serious breach. Information coming through says Russia made no mention of any damage on its report of the incident. Sea drones are small unmanned vessels which operate on or below the water surfaces. Well, when will all this help or stop? Because some people are tired of it all. But will it? Wouldn't it? When would it? That is the question on the lips of most people. It is all coming away from Starr Radio, okay? It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, Donald Trump pleads not guilty to election charges in latest arraignment. Now, the former U.S. President Donald Trump has pleaded not guilty in Washington, D.C. court to conspiring to overturn his 2020 election defeat. Now, during a short arraignment, he spoke softly to confirm his not guilty plea, name and age, that he was not under the influence of any substances. He told the reporters that the case was persecution of political opponent. It marks the former president's third appearance in 4 months as a criminal defendant. Now, Mr. Trump entered through a back door of the courthouse on Thursday afternoon in the center of national capital, just yards from the scene of the U.S. Capitol riot that is central to the prosecution case. Now, about 1,000 defendants charged with the participation in the storming Congress on the 6th of January 2021 have appeared in the same court building. The former president seemed to exchange glances across the court with Jack Smith, the special counsel leading the investigation. Mr. Trump was seen twiddling his thumbs as he sat waiting for the hearing to begin, and he shook his head as the clerk read the case number. His not guilty plea covered the 4 charges in the latest indictment. 1. Conspiracy to defraud the U.S. 2. Conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. 3. Obstruction of an official proceeding. And 4. Conspiracy against the right of citizens. The judge told the former president not to communicate about the facts of the case. She warned him that failure to comply could result in an arrest warrant revoked release conditions and contempt of court charges. But can he? Will he? He will go on to go down, spew all that he wants to spew. He said, you know what? I'm not guilty. But some people who hated to what he was saying, 1,000 of them, have been jailed. I've been brought to the court. I've been jailed. What about that? So what about the ringleader himself? What's going to happen there? You and I will all see one day. All right. And for those of you who are thinking that there's going to be a special anniversary holiday for you here in the UK, it's not going to happen. There will be no official public event to mark the first anniversary of the death of Queen Elizabeth on the 8th of September. A royal spokesperson has said the king is to spend the day quietly and privately on the day which also marks its own accession to the throne. Now, there are also no plans for private gatherings of the royal family, although senior members will be in Balmoral, where the queen died last year. Her death at the age of 96 followed the longest reign of any British monarch. The king is following his mother's tradition as he spent the anniversaries of her father's death and the start of her reign without official events in what used to be termed private reflection. If there are other commemorative events in the week of the anniversary, King Charles and Queen Camilla are not expected to attend. So that is for your information if you are here in the UK and you are thinking, oops, we're going to be getting a holiday because of the day the Queen died. Well, I'm sorry about that. Well, a report has also come in saying that, give cash to households in path of new pylons. Government has been urged. Now, households should be given cash if they live in the path of a new large electricity pylons. A government commissioned report has said the recommendation is among several to speed up the building of new infrastructure in Great Britain to better connect with new renewable energy. Key is a fast-track planning system to help have the 12 to 14 years it currently takes to build new lines. The government has welcomed the report. Energy Security Secretary Grant Sharp will now consider the recommendations and is expected to present a plan later this year. Carl Trowell, president of the UK Strategic Infrastructure of National Grid, also welcomed the report, adding, "There is no time to waste. Implementing the proposal and progressing the energy transition at the pace is the surest rate to afford to more affordable bills, greater energy resilience, and more energy independent UK." However, the construction of a new line or new lines could open fresh rifts, with Conservative MPs campaigning against planned pylons in their area. But if it's going to be carrying what? Green energy, what more? Well. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 12:21. Now, one other story. Okay, a couple of them. Let me bring you this one that is from the NHS. That the use of private sector to tackle the NHS backlog in England is to be expanded, the government has said. Ministers say they want to unlock spare capacity to get more people the treatment and operation they need. This includes opening 8 privately run diagnostic centers and using new rules to make it easier for the NHS to purchase care in the private sector. But Health Minister Maria Caulfield warned NHS waiting lists were likely to get worse before getting better. It says, speaking on the LBC, we are almost at a peak, but we think it will go slightly higher, but it will then start to come down. And that is why we are making an announcement like this now. So so that we are getting the capacity and the infrastructure so that patients can get their treatment more quickly. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Final story. Who loves you less? Nobody answered. Okay. Now, eligibility for a scrappage scheme has been extended to more people ahead of the expansion of the ultra-low emission to all of London. Now, Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, said all Londoners will be able to access up to £2,000 to replace non-compliant cars. Now, previously, ineligible drivers will be able to apply from the 21st of August. Now, there will also be more support for businesses, charities, and disabled drivers. Now, previously, only those entitled to means-tested benefits could claim money. It comes after Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer urged the Labour mayor to reflect on the ULEZ expansion following the party's by-election loss in Oxbridge in July. In order to fund the expansion, Mr. Khan plans to use £50 million of City Hall's reserves. This takes the total of the scrappage fund from 110 million to 160 million. The scheme will be available on a first-come, first-served basis, with low-income and disabled Londoners having already had 7 months to apply. The vehicles that automatically comply are petrol cars and vans made after 2006, diesel cars and vans made after 2015, and motorbikes made after 2007. Mr. Khan said, "As we continue to build a greener and healthier London for everyone, I'm determined that no Londoner and no London business is left behind. We need to take people with us on the path to a sustainable future." But the question is, 2,000. Would it buy me a new car, or one that is, if it's a petrol engine, more than 6 years? Came online after 2006, so more than how many years? 17 years. Will I get anything of the sort? Or isn't that I'm going to use it to buy electric car, and that I cannot afford to pay the, if I just deposit 2,000, then the monthly payments, and then what? High purchase one. Is that what he wants? Well. And would that change the hearts of people who are thinking that we have to vote against him? What do you think? Well, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK, and this is where I have to bring the program to a close. As I did say, Money Man is also chilling, but God willing, next week he'll be joining us to bring you the Money Hour. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, my producer sent me one that let me put across quickly, and then we'll move on. Climate activist Greta Thunberg has pulled out of an appearance at the Edinburgh International Book Festival over its links to the fossil fuel industry. Now, she had been due to attend an event at the annual festival on the 30th of August, but she said she will now not do so because the festival receives sponsorships from Bailey Gifford investment firm. She claimed Bailey Gifford invests heavily in fossil fuel industry. Ms. Thunberg accused the industry of greenwashing by sponsoring cultural events and said she did not want to be associated with it. Will they stop the oil people go and stop the festival? Well. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I bring the program to a close for today. God willing, we'll be coming your way tomorrow morning at dawn with the Power Hour with Reverend Michael Esiama, and then we will move on to some other story that is going to be making the rounds for you on Monday, when we have Nigeria playing England in the Women's World Cup as well. And myself and Mr. Olayomi Koiki will be here to bring you everything that you need to know. So wherever you are, don't you go away. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. All right then. So enjoy this tune, and I'll see you all later. This is from Wuta, and he says what? Country hot. It is cool, but it's hot, right?
Hungry man say fix the country. Bellefou say fix yourself.
Thanks for listening.
To get a job, baby, who you know, we live like cops in a barrel. Shayo, Babeshi and Lo. Hey, we say fix the country.
You say fix yourself.
Aye, aye, aye. Fix the country.
We say
Now,
fix
now,
yourself.
now. Hey,
Tell me who be the
tell
country?
me
Who be the country?
now you be the country.
Fix yourself.
I wanna hear that. Hey, we say fix the country.
You say fix yourself.
Aye, aye, aye. Fix the country.
We say
Now,
fix
now,
yourself.
Hey,
Tell me who be the country? Me be the country. You be the country. Fix yourself.
I hear that. Your minimum wage be hand to mouth. The government know the pay for month. From the same pay the king go chop, the bills go come, carry a bomb. Oh, civil servants, then magicians, building mansions after few years. Now who cares about the coffers? And each man living for himself. We say fix the country.
You say fix yourself.
Aye, aye, aye. Fix the country.
We say
Now,
fix
now, now.
yourself.
Hey,
Tell me who be the country? Me be the country.
and you be the country.
Fix yourself.
Kala, 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 kala. We say fix the country.
You say fix yourself.
Aye, aye, aye. Fix the country.
We say
Now,
fix
now, now.
yourself.
Hey,
Tell me who be the
tell
country?
me,
Me be the
tell me
country.
you.
You be the country. Fix yourself.
Aye, yeah. If you be cheap, you support balance. Say fix yourself. Charlie, Koiki, one Ghana, one corner. Fix yourself. Oh yeah, Nara, assassin. Hey, I walk in my head.